Oh, screw the usual intro. Let's rock and roll, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Welcome back to Squad Central for the Arsenal versus Manchester United post-game show. I am sure there are many fans who are going to want to skip this one, but also many of you listening on replay who are going to want to have your say in our YouTube comments. And for those listening on Apple and Spotify, appreciate you making us part of your day too. Don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss a show like this, where we talk about the Arsenal, and perhaps this result has been brewing and coming for a while. You can't see it if you're listening on an audio platform, but I was channeling something today. I was trying to put it out there. So the thumbnail of the show is the Arsenal team sheet announcement. And my tagline is holding out for an Arsenal hero. Remember that Bonnie Tyler song? I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. No hero came. Not one that was masked or unmasked. Not one with a cape or without a cape. No hero arrived. And we were beaten 3-2 at home for the first time in Gazonka years by apparently the worst Manchester United team in the history of the Premier League, who seems to have found their feet in the arms of Michael Carrick. Welcome back to Squad Central. James Johnson for the post-game show. Welcome, James. Hello.
Hiya. Yeah. Can you just sing for the? I enjoyed listening to you sing. Oh,
James,
Jesus
for the
Christ.
first time in a long time. By the way, squaddies, at ease. Welcome to each and every one of you. I've got to say that for the first time in a long time, I don't quite know what to say. I'm a little bit lost for words. I'm going to be honest about something. I'm not suggesting for a second that I called a loss today. But I woke up with an unnerving feeling, right? I said on the last show, and I think it was when I was talking to James, I don't know who it was. I said that I fancied United to beat City. They'll get their new manager bounce and then they'll get all excited and think Michael Carrick's the guy, and then we'll humble them again. Not the case. If anything, Michael Carrick is kind of proving that Ruben Amorim was rubbish all along. And we were humbled. We have been humbled. I have been a performance, nixer versus a point, go grab and get. That's all I've cared for. And if we'd have ended up winning this game, I'd be fine with that. But you can't lose the game. You can't lose to Manchester United. You can't lose. Stay off social media tonight. That is my advice, is to every single Arsenal fan to stay off social media this evening. So let's just start at the tippy top. I am not angry. I'm resigned. You know, James, like I just resign myself to it's been coming. I resign myself to this is who we are. I resign myself to all of these things. I still believe, but I think there's games that you just can't lose. That was one of them. Let's start at the very beginning, and let's also bring in Mr. Albert JTV into the house as well. Welcome, Albert, to the show. If you missed in our video section, by the way, Albert's post game on Chelsea versus the Arsenal, please go check that out in our video section. It is up right now. A really good analysis of the game. 8 years in the making, beating Chelsea away. Some good news. At least. So, James, let's kick off with you. The team sheet came out. And by the way, I'd like to just preface this with giving you guys the Arsenal schedule in the next few weeks here. Okay. So we've got 24 karat gold on Wednesday in the Champions League. Then we have Leeds United away. We've got the Carabao Cup. We've got Sunderland at home, Brentford away. And who's shuffling their papers? Who's shuffling? Put yourself on mute if you're shuffling. And then we've got Tottenham and Chelsea. James, talk to me about the lineup.
Yeah, so really happy to see Hincapié back in the team initially. That was my initial thought. I was glad that we've actually got a natural left back into the side. Was a bit concerned, obviously, with no Norgard, considering the rumours that are out there of the approach from Ajax. And I thought that would be rebuffed, but him not being in there and nothing about him being injured makes me think, oh, is there a lot more into that than what probably, because he was clearly bought as a player that would be here maybe 1 or 2 years to fill a gap. He was never going to be seen as a serious, big time starter. So yeah, I'd be a bit upset if he was to leave, but I understand that maybe Ajax he's probably going to play every week and be an important figure for them. And then Havertz, we get told that no, he's not injured as per the article in the Daily Fail, and he's not here. So clearly there is something wrong. But other than that, lineup for me was exactly what I would have picked. I mean, for me, Jesus isn't the answer either. I don't think anyone in our striking position this season's really nailed that. But after his 2 goals in midweek, I always thought Arteta was going to play him. So I understood it. And yeah, just echoing what you said earlier, I'm dead inside. Obviously, I'm not expressing my absolute rage vocally, but I'm just dead inside, Sophie. I don't know how many more times I have to see this before, it stops, because it keeps on happening. This is systematic of a performance that we had against Liverpool, except in that one, Conor Bradley hit the bar, Szoboszlai hit the bar from a free kick in the second half, and they had no one else to do what they were trying to do. Nottingham Forest had absolutely nobody. We know that. But Man United today got special players that can score in special moments. And when you play war of attrition or fine margins football, which we have been playing, you're going to get slapped by 2 worldies, and you're going to make a mistake, and they're going to capitalize on your mistake. And
what's really interesting about the worldies that you mentioned is my WhatsApp group. We were like, who's going to do that for us? That
at the moment, nobody.
That doesn't happen enough in our team. Goals like that, shooting from outside the box, which is why I would have brought Eze on at halftime and Madueke on a little bit earlier. But before we get to all of that, you're 100% correct about that, James. Albert, the team sheet came out, and I think that, firstly, were you against anyone in the starting lineup, or were you okay with the team sheet?
Like James, sorry. So yeah, I was happy to see Mbappe back in the starting lineup. I know they talk about obviously Jesus getting the goals in the week, but I said to you I would have started Gyökeres today. That was the only thing I would have done differently. But the manager obviously, is there for a reason, so he picked him. But yeah, not too much to say on the team lineup, Sophie. That's the only notable difference I would have made.
Yeah. Pod mother in the house, hello to you. Is Carrick better than Arteta already? Better player for sure. I love the tongue in cheek. Maybe too soon on that one, Mrs. Potts. But Albert, the first 20-25 minutes, again, I'm like, were Manchester United just toying with us, kind of when you see the end result, hindsight 2020. But the first 25 minutes, we absolutely dominated and bossed that game. The only thing that was missing again was the end product, and didn't make or capitalize on the chances that we had. But overall, Albert, the first half, I thought for the first 25 minutes we were the better team, and then Manchester United found their feet in the game and started to have moments where they controlled their own tempo too.
Yeah, perfectly summarized, Sophie. I mean, I thought the first 25 we were okay. Saka and Trossard were on the ball quite a lot. But I think the game got to a point where United kind of weathered that storm for the first sort of 20, 25 minutes. And it became quite even. They got more on the ball, and they got more of their sort of attacking players. Obviously, even Burmo can play that role really well on his own, to be honest, going down the middle. But it's pretty even Stevens. And watching the game sort of the first 25, if we can kind of get that first goal by hook or by crook, set piece FC, open play, it doesn't really matter. In a game of that magnitude, and obviously United coming off the back of winning the Manchester derby, and confidence-wise, they're flying. Get that first goal, and we did, Sophie. But we were talking sort of during the game at different points, and it's amazing to think Arsenal went ahead in that game, and it got worse. The game management was awful.
Yeah.
The passing was awful. Defensively, the warning sign happened, Sophie, even when we went 1-0 up. I think Burmo got in once. I think Fernandez definitely got in about twice. And then we gave them a very, very belated Christmas present going into January by making it 1-1. Now, I couldn't believe what was happening after we scored. It was remarkable, to be honest. And I can't really add much more to that.
So Albert, let's talk about that a little bit, because let me read some of the squaddy comments as well, as we always do. K Marlon, we have a weak midfield. I've been saying this for a long time. Odegaard and Zubimendi in our style of play cannot work. Two lazy players. Saka should not even be starting, but he's the best we've got. Matthew D'Souza, this is why I didn't buy the narrative that we got the hard fixtures out of the way at Christmas and it was advantage us. Football just never works that way. Drop Norris. Add sloppy playing, gifting their only strength. Their attacking players, big chances. It's a recipe for a loss. Now it's how you respond. Continues. The price of a rivalry at the end of 2 extremely busy months. Meanwhile, United get a new manager bounce, no extra games, time to train and prepare. We'll get to that. Munz, we did not turn up, poor passing and nobody wants to shoot. Zubi at fault for the goal. What happened to our duels and defending? Here to there says 50% of our goals from set pieces and own goals. It's unsustainable. Hannah says so many of them slopping. Barry, we started out boring but in control. Another OG in good situation, and then we give them a great chance through Saliba, then Zubimendi mistake, it's 1-1. Second half, passive. What we got is what we deserve. That's 0. Shaitanya, I think it's time to move on from Odegaard. Patrick says Unai Emery will win the league. Cowards win nothing. Ouch. Sol says, against Inter Milan, we had such great flow. The answer, Odegaard on the bench. That man lives obsessed with the right side or handling the ball off to Saka. It's beyond predictable at this point. So, boys, as you can imagine, there are a ton of comments about Martin Odegaard in the chat. And look, he was not good today. There was nothing good about what Martin Odegaard did in this game today. And as a captain, people keep bringing this subject up and I keep poo-pooing it or shoving it away. But you are the captain and you do need to show up in these games, right? So let's riff off what Albert said there, James, coming to you. What is the difference between the performance against Inter Milan and here? A lot of people talk about Europe. You've got more time, you've got more space. Teams come at you more. You can't be this bad can even my points versus performance argument right now, it can't stand, because there's even in the grabbing of the points, it's not happening, and there's zero performance. James, talk to me about what the difference was and what we're seeing in this game.
Well, you somewhat answered your question within the question yourself. In the European games, especially with Inter, who are, you know, they're one of the better teams in it. They probably wanted to show out and try and embarrass us and what have you. You do get more time and you do get more space. But we had nothing. You know, we had no answer for that with them today, and I do by no way, shape, or form am I an athlete, as you could all tell, looking at me sat here talking about it right now. But I'll fancy my chances playing against Arsenal because it's all right in front of me. No one today put anyone in foot races. There was no balls in behind. I mean, Gabriel Jesus, my dad texted me during the game. He said he come out of his mum offside. The guy is never onside. He's constantly offside. It's mental. It's absolutely mental the amount of times the guy's offside. And yeah, going on to Odegaard, Sophie, he was sulking when he got taken off. I'm like, look at yourself in the mirror. We had this conversation last week when I brought up the Where's Wally comparison. He has been absolutely abysmal for the last 18 or so months. He's had a nice little bit of peak where he got a few assists, scored his first goal and everything. But I'm like, don't come off sulking, mate. You're the captain. You know, you're the guy that's in games like this, roll your sleeves up and pull us through. And you got subbed again. Like I said, he's the most hooked captain.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You know, it's mad how much the guy gets taken off.
Yeah.
Absolutely mad.
So Albert, there is a huge volume of comments, and thanks to everyone who's joining this evening. Very passionate feelings about this devastating loss to Manchester United. Even after we pulled ourselves back into the game, we couldn't hold on and allowed Cunha the space of the Grand Canyon to take that shot. But Albert, I want to get your take on this, because this is where I don't feel I have any answers, and I don't want to go apoplectic, but we've been talking on the show quite a bit. You know, Nottingham Forest, you know, these 0-0s, Liverpool. You wrote to me earlier, Liverpool was the sign, the signal. From Gracia White here. Hi, Sophie, James, Albert. We're too system-based. We lack confidence and the players look unhappy. Where do we go from here? So a very measured, fair question, because I actually not sure how to answer Gracia's question anymore. Because when I see us play the way we do against Inter Milan and Bayern Munich and the teams that the thrashing of Leeds, or the 3-0s or whatever, I say, how can it be the system? When you see like the opening 25 minutes, okay, we didn't do anything, but the way we were moving, the way we were passing the ball, we were in total control except for the end product. So Albert, you take out Jesus, you bring in Gyökeres. You've been saying it doesn't matter if you play Messi up front. It's the system, right? But at the same time, the players, I think, in the last 2 or 3 Premier League games have totally let Mikel down. I've been asking for Mikel to have more than just a like-for-like sub, a plan B. Today, he did what I've been asking on the show last week. Remember, guys? You know, if you're going to bring Madueke on, don't take Saka off. Put Saka on the left. And he went and has been making attacking subs. Maybe his mistake is having too much faith in Odegaard, Albert. What's your answer to Gracia's question? And where do you think this falls?
As well, to do all, I admire the brass to do 4, but that was way too much. You've completely changed the system of your team with all at one time. I'm like, bring
agree.
one or two, then
Mhm.
another one or two. I'm like,
Or
to
make
do all four in one
or make a
go.
couple
I
half
was,
time. Yeah.
I was like, whoa. I'm like, I admired the brass, but at the same point, I'm like, you've done way too much there in one go.
But there was nothing happening. There was nothing happening on the pitch, and those players have played together
Oh yeah,
before.
I get that, but for me, I'm like, one or two, then another. Let's see what happens there, then do it. I thought just all four, and just to completely change the dynamic, it was a bit helter skelter for me.
So do you think defenstration, the one-off games in Europe have no pressure? Like that game against Inter had no pressure. Simple as that is what he says, Albert. Arteta can't change games under stress.
Yeah, we know, like, obviously when Arsenal play in the Champions League, when they play in the Premier League, it's a different beast. But in sort of an answer to your question, or the question that was put before, so if I said to you during sort of the game was going on, and I think it actually, no, I'll leave that bit to them. But yeah, tactically wise, and I think Gary Neville mentioned it during the in-game. Yeah, you have systems and you want to have a way of playing. And I think James Bayliss mentioned this on the show, and you had him on, Sophie, and I thought it for quite a long time, that you can question as Arsenal fans or how good you feel the attacking talent is, but Sophie, it is there at our disposal. But we are so system based that the creative side of Arsenal and what Mikel wants to do, there's not really a compromise from him. I mean, you saw that in the performance against Liverpool. You saw that evidently today. And yeah, don't get me wrong, Sophie, the players have to take a hard, long look at themselves, because if it's a one-off game and you play that poorly and you lose, you're not going to be happy as a fan. Actually, you're going to be furious, as you mentioned at the top of the show. Of all the games to lose, we lose to them at home at this critical stage of the season. But you almost feel like I watch Arsenal and it's a slog to watch them. Yes, Sophie, we can cover it over weeks and get the odd set piece to nick games and score goals. But this is not the first time this has happened as Arsenal fans watching Arsenal. I mean, today it was laid bare. And to sort of finish up, so kind of, I messaged you during the game and you said what is happening. You can fill in the blanks, people in the chat. And I said to you 3 words: pressure, mindset, and mentality. Now, what you have to understand is, and I'm not no football tactical expert, but I watched the Manchester United side play today, and I don't want to hear no excuses about low blocks. That was a team that wanted to win a game of football. I cannot say that about Arsenal today and other games this season. They wanted to win, Sophie. We can talk about worldies as much as you want. They went to win that game of football because they sensed it. They could smell blood with Arsenal, and they took their chances. Liverpool didn't. Liverpool, when we played them a few weeks ago, Sophie, we highlighted they did not have no strikers available. United, you can talk about United and the deficiencies on and off the pitch, but they have signed well enough in the summer in terms of Cunha and Mbeumo that offer you a threat going in behind. And we got royally exposed today. Royally.
Very well said, Albert. And it's, I think that's what makes it so frustrating, is that we got royally exposed by a team that has been a mess. But it's so interesting, isn't it? Like Michael Carrick, who played in a certain system, has come in and identified immediately the weak source, right? And is fixing it. So I think Mikel's going to have to make some really brave decisions, because if you look at the games that we've won and the flow and how we've played without Odegaard, and I've been a huge Martin Odegaard fan, but I also don't want to make him just the scapegoat today, because who played well today? Who actually, even the subs that came on, they didn't affect the game. Nobody affected the game. And you said something, Albert. It was so clear that Manchester United wanted to win the game.
Yeah.
And they were patient in executing their plan. The patience that teams show against us, because it's almost like they know, not that we're going to implode, but you mentioned your 3 things there, Albert. All season, I've had 3 things: consistency, the depth, and mentality. Mikel's using the depth. The consistency, we've been consistently bad, is what we have been. And the mentality is just not there consistently. If you want to win the title, you've got to show. And it felt like today, for the first time in a while, that I felt inferior to Manchester United today. And I've not felt that in a really long time.
Massive concern. Because Sophie, go on, sorry.
No, go on, Albert.
No, I'm just gonna go on. Keep going. So I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
And I agree. I think Manu and Casemiro were brilliant. And this is what Sports Prop is saying. Manu and Casemiro were brilliant. Have said this before and say it again. Arsenal's midfield is not at that level. And it just felt like, and Cincinnati says United was sitting off waiting to strike. And this is the thing that I've been saying, Leon Davis. Why do we always give other teams life instead of burying them? I tweeted, instead of killing them off after the goal, we gave them oxygen.
It got worse. It got worse.
It got so much worse. And I haven't felt that inferiority complex in a long time. And today, I never felt like we were going to score. I never felt like we were going to win that game. And I haven't felt that way in a long time, guys.
And that's the worrying thing, because James touched on it. I agree in terms of, because it's very rare when you watch Arsenal that Mikel makes halftime subs that are not enforced. You can go through the game even going back to last season. He very rarely does it, Sophie, because he's very stringent on what he wants to do. But I agree, James, he could have made a couple at halftime, and then, because the way that game was going, to me, that wasn't a game. Oh, you know what, players, you go out for the second half. No, you make the changes now because of the magnitude of the game and who you're playing against, and coming off the back of them winning the Manchester derby. But
no, you can't Fletcher blame fall competitions now.
No, we can't do that. We cannot do that. We
can't do that. We want to win things. We want to be in all competitions. We're not going to be blaming being in 4 competitions after losing at home to Manchester United. They had 3 shots on target and they scored 3 goals. We were rubbish.
So if we haven't conceded, they said we haven't conceded 3 since we played Luton. Crazy. How can your solid defensive unit do that? I mean,
what happened in midfield though today? How did we lose the midfield battle? What happened today?
Too soft. Like Albert said, that team come in here and can't lose to this lot today. We should have been doing the same. We should have had that mentality. But they're too soft. You know, I thought that Man United, I thought Zubamendi that they signed was brilliant in the January window. I thought Zubamendi was class for Man United today. I really did.
He had his worst game today, Zubimendi.
Second one, I cannot. Why are you running, holding your hand in the air for a handball instead of trying to block the shot? I'm like, that just, again, I'm like, where is your head?
They all stopped. They all stopped for that shot.
You mentioned it 2 times about mentality, Sophie, when you brought it up on the screen and everything. I'm like, where is your head there? Wait, block the shot and then turn to the ref and go, why are you not looking for the hand? It weren't a handball anyway. But at the same point, I'm like, where is your head? I'm like, stop feeling, again, like I said about Odegaard, whinging when he's coming. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Do your basics.
Saka was doing that a lot today too, whinging and moaning and complaining like he wasn't getting decisions. And that does happen a lot to Saka. But today it was just a case of get on with it. Today was the first time this season where I really feel like we shrunk mentally. I felt that a little in the Forest game, but, you know, that came down to dogged relegation fight. Then you make the excuses. Then today was the day where I felt like we shrunk mentally for the first time, and we felt that pressure. And by the way, week in, week on, how many chances now have we had the opportunity to extend our lead?
And so if that's the problem, because I mean, what's so Chelsea, Sunderland, Liverpool, you could argue Forest, and today. So today wasn't just a one-off game. So when Arsenal fans not get upset, but when they point to these factors, it culminates in what you got today. You're failing to rubber stamp the opportunity to get this league title over the line. And I think the worrying thing for me, just to finish up, is we've spoken numerous times on this platform and on my own channel and discussions away from YouTube, is that you look at Arsenal over a last 3-4 year period, when it went from missing out and qualifying for the Champions League and then not getting over the league 2 seasons in a row or 3 seasons or whatever way you want to chop it up. The players, in terms of when we talk about mindset, they've got to be saying to themselves, irrespective whatever training sessions or whatever Mikel says to them, as players, as individual responsibility and collectively, you do not want to be labeled as a team that are also nearly rants. And that's a difficult mindset to shift if you don't start winning things. So, like I said, we've got a nucleus of players in this side. Yes, we've had a big transfer window bringing in players in the last summer window, but you've got a nucleus of players, Sophie and James, that have played together now. So there's no more excuses. There cannot be no more excuses. Yes, you can lose games of football, but today, for me, and I'm so glad I never done a watch along for that. Actually, I'm so glad I haven't done a watch along for quite a few of the Arsenal games, because I would have been bored to tears. But that today was just, to me,
that was unacceptable.
It was unacceptable. Yeah, Sophie said it. Preach it. It was unacceptable today.
It was unacceptable. And here's what I wanted to put up here from David. The most concerning thing about Arsenal is the lack of chance creation. Their best chance of scoring is a corner. A lot of the times when I hear fans saying, "Oh, can you imagine Bruno Fernandes or Fernandes, however you like to say it, in this Arsenal team?" And you could see, like, he feels happy and reborn, right? Playing in his natural position. This from David, James. Chance creation. A lot of the times people are talking about, Gyökeres can't score, or Kai can't score, or Jesus can't score, or why isn't Trossard scoring, or this is an issue. So I want to get stuck into this a little bit, because we're all clear that Odegaard is not at his best right now. We're all clear that Eze has not been at his best, blows hot and cold, maybe needs a little run. Madueke, you see the glimpses, the end product. How do we resolve this? Because, James, fans, I know people laugh and joke about it, but set pieces, own goals, another own goal today. Where's that chance creation gone? And again, we go back to the no pressure against Inter, the more open game. We've seen our team create chances. We've seen that champagne flow, but it doesn't even have to be that way. Even the Mikel Merino goal was fortunate today. Like, they were both fortunate goals. So I think this comment, James, is really important. Like,
yeah,
how do we fix this? Is it Eze? Is it what do we do going forward? Is it a
Sophie? It's not a case of the players, because you can have any form or iteration of them forward players. If they are, and I've said it for weeks, and I've been lambasted, I've been cheered, I've been lambasted, I've been cheered. When they make stupid decisions in the final third, which all of them are doing. A few weeks ago, I was like, no, it's this one. No, it's that one. But every single one of them are lacking just basic decision making in the final third. And until you rectify that, it doesn't matter, Sophie, what players or what system it is. Until one of them nails down and can be like, right, I can deliver a pass accurately. Because, again, in Europe, okay, I get it. Like I mentioned before, time and space. And if you give Arsenal time, you give Arsenal space, will spank you. And United today, yes, I agree with you, Albert, didn't play a low block or whatever, but there were times where we're in those positions, and it's to quote Eminem, it just round the outside, it just comes back, it just recycles and comes back round again. I'm like, where is the penetration? Where, like I said, it's all in front of you. It's so easy to defend because it's right in front of your face. Maguire is a big stiff. Martinez is a little stiff. Put him in a foot race. You put everything in the air with his concrete head. He's just going to head it away, have the day of his life. He'll be like, this is easy as anything. Put him in a 1v1. Give him something to think about. And we did none of that, Sophie.
Yeah,
we
James,
did absolutely none of it.
Just to come in on that, like even with the goal we got in the first half, Sophie, we messaged, and I actually think that goal came that we scored in the first half because actually Hincapié took it upon himself to get the ball in the box early. You are allowed to do that, manage instruction or not. We talk about it, game management. That's where that goal came from. And I'm going to say this, and this might upset some people, but I've said this privately, and I don't mind saying it publicly. When you talk about style of football, or let me rephrase that, attacking football or being a bit more front foot on, as Sophie's mentioned plenty times on here, maverick players and popcorn football, that's only going to happen at Arsenal with a different manager. That's not to poo-poo what Mikel's done in the time he's been here, but if you're talking about us being a little bit more offensively, or a lot more offensively, or 20% more offensively, that is not going to happen with this manager because he's been here long enough. We know who he's worked under when he was a player. So, yes, we had it in 22, 23, and 23, 24. But when you have mental scars not getting over the line, you revert to type, but you revert to the kind of football we see, Sophie, under Mikel. And it's not going to change until you get a different manager who has who's like, for example, one of our players has gone on loan recently to work under De Zerbi. De Zerbi and Arteta in terms of coaches are completely different. And he probably will go and flourish over there on his loan spell. Yeah, different league, but that's the only, to me, Sophie, that's how it gets rectified.
So I understand people talking about the system. So for example, there was a great breakaway in, I think it was the first half, where Rice has got the ball and he passes it right to Saliba, who finds himself on the flank in that position. And Saliba almost should instinctively cross it across the 6-yard box, but he gives it back to Rice. Now, the better pass for Rice was maybe to the left because an attacker is going to think differently in that situation, whereas Saliba, his brain's not going to work as quickly in that position as it would, for example, where he just got his toe on that Bruno tackle. Otherwise, that would have been a goal too. Mm-hmm. That's not Mikel's fault, right? That's not Mikel's fault. Like, Declan there should make a better decision. Saliba there should make a better decision. Yeah.
He should have either shot himself just to get, pepper this goalkeeper. I know they've been raving about him, but just pepper him, see what happens. And then on top of that as well, just cut that across the box. Like we said, bit of chaos. But yeah, Saliba went safe. Again, Sophie, like I said, there's none of them have just got any elite level decision making in that final third at the moment. None of them.
James, and this comment, James and Albert, from Cliff, this is what gets my goat against certain teams. Cliff says, just to show you how CARRICK didn't respect us. They were 2-1 up, and instead of subbing on a defender to protect the lead, he brought on Cunha because he knew they could and should score again. And look what we did when we played Liverpool at home. We did exactly the same thing and made exactly the same mistakes as we did at Anfield. Showed them too much respect. Manchester City at home showed them too much respect. And this is the part where I agree with you guys on the Mikel Arteta. It's limit the mistakes, caution first, then find a way to win the game.
Armbands in the bath, innit? Put the armbands on when you go for a bath.
It's starting to bite us in the arse now a little bit. But again, I will say and defend the manager in situational moments. They have to be better decision makers. They have to be. Like, when was the last time Saka scored a banger like Cunha or Dorgu, right? When was the last time, like, Trossard, I think, was the one against Forest. When was the last time? Like, Eza, the last, was Tottenham.
13 games without a goal for Saka now, Sophie. 13.
Like, that's not Mikel's fault.
300 grand a week.
Can I just say something about Saka real quick? Because it's very difficult to criticize Saka. I thought for spurts of this game, he was the best player, trying to create again and again and again. And I thought without Gyökeres, I actually thought it hurt us not starting with Gyökeres. It emboldened Manchester United, I
in
felt.
hindsight, yeah, definitely. I agree with you, yeah.
And so if I believe there's a mistake that he made, because you're not resting Gyökeres against Manchester United, and you're starting Jesus against United, who are going to come with some bravado after beating Manchester City. You know what Gyökeres has done for you, and he's been your guy, taking 2-3 defenders, getting a little bruisey, opening up spaces. Saka was eaten alive today. Trossard was totally not in the game. In the second half, I forgot that he was playing. Later in the first half, early second half, I forgot that he was playing. Your move was to start Gyökeres. Give them something to think about. Occupy their defenders. And he went away from that in the game where I felt like, why are you doing that now?
Yeah. So if I would have started. That's not a hindsight. I said that to you before the game started. I would have started him. But listen, there were a number of reasons as to why Arsenal got handed a new one today. So
this isn't school, Thibaut, rewarding Jesus for his great Inter performance. No, Jesus is going to be invaluable in the Champions League. Absolutely, 100%.
So, Sophie, what I will say is Zubimendi's 2 mistakes. Is he going to get a month out like Eze did? Is he going to be hooked for a month because he made 2 mistakes in a big game? Is he? Is he? Is Norgard, is Rice going to play 6 and Eze and Odegaard together now? Or is Norgard not going to be sold and he's going to play as a holding mid for the next month instead of Zubimendi?
James, this is a really important conversation to have.
Yeah, it is.
Because you can destroy players' confidence by players are going to take it one way or the other, right? And an example I always bring up is Jakub Kiwior, Bayern Munich at home, Champions League. He never saw the light of day for what, like 9-10 matches maybe? Had to work his way back into the team. We saw it with, you go far as Nicola Pepe. You get sent off, get scolded, kept out. Xhaka gets sent off, gets a little tap on the bum on the way out, right? You're 100% correct. That and you know what? It's not the first mistake Zubi's made, by the way. It isn't. And Zubimendi's been great. Do not take this the wrong way. But James is right. You have to be ruthless. These players need to know they're playing for their dinner, right? You don't just get picked. And I said that he's been using the depth well. I feel like he has. I feel like he's, utilized players well in the Carabao Cup, in the FA Cup he did, in the Champions League. We've seen him against Inter, against Club Brugge, make tweaks here and there. So I know there are a few of you saying, well, he hasn't really used our depth very well.
Sophie, I've seen a comment come in here from Matthew saying, how do you know Eze hasn't played because of his error? I think it's got more to do with his work off the ball. Well,
both can coexist, by the way.
Hang on. Zubimendi's work off the ball for them 2 goals then. On the ball, sorry, to pass it in the first place, to make the mistake, and then off the ball as well. And then Odegaard off the ball the last couple of weeks. He's still been picked. If you're going to be as ruthless as that by what people are doing, then that has to stretch across every single one of the players. You can't just pick and choose which one, you're being naughty stepped. Either it's all, they're all tarnished with the same brush, or it's not at all, It's selective punishment. That's what I don't understand. And that's what I don't like either. You make these people too comfortable. That's when they start making mistakes because they know that there's no threat.
Yeah.
Like we said, Saka, 300 grand a week, 13 games without a goal. But he knows he'll play against Leeds because there's no one up his arse, panicking him that he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to improve. He doesn't have to get better in the final third because he knows there's no one there that's a threat to him. And that breeds in complacency. That's the issue.
But that's not why. That's not the purpose, right? And this is where, I mean, it'll be interesting to see because Andrea Berta, brought in these players so we wouldn't have the same issue as we did last season. And look, apart from Kai, we've pretty much, and Calafiori, we've pretty much got everyone available to us. There's no excuses. Like all of this, we're in 4 competitions. No. We are in a offensive position where it's in our own hands. And the difference between becoming a champion and challenging to be a champion are in the fine details, in the extra inches that we talk about on this show all the time. And it should be that if you make a mistake, that you're benched or you're taught a bit of a lesson. I don't have an issue with that. Go on, James.
Yeah, I was going to say, on Wednesday, I know he wants to win every single game that's in the group and what have you.
Champions League.
I don't want him being like, no, because of that what you gave me at the weekend, I want you to go out there midweek and pun it, and show me something. Swap every single one of them. Them that were on the bench today, start them in midweek. Completely rotate it for that game and play your proper side against Leeds and get your reaction there. I don't want I don't want Saka playing for 65 to 70 minutes in midweek against CARRICK, whatever they're called, and Rice playing 60, 70 minutes and Timber playing 60, 70 minutes. There's no point. Play younger players, Kepa, Lewis Skelly,
100%.
Madwecki, who'd come on, Eze start that game, Marino start that game. Just completely swap them because your priority now, you're through in the Champions League and you've got your special bit where you get the home games in your second legs. So prioritise Leeds at the weekend.
Yeah, it's a fair point because
then players can still beat CARRICK. I know.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, it's a fair point, man, because the thing is now, it was going to be, Leeds was going to be a tough game anyway. We always talk about there's no easy games in the Premier League, but that's really going to be a even more tough game now because we're away from home, Ellen Road, and the way, I mean, they probably watched that today, that game. I would have thought Daniel Farker and the coaching set up at Leeds and thought, you know what? This is where we're going to get at him next week. And we've got to be ready, Sophie, because I'll tell you something now. The gap's only 4 points now. And things can turn very, very, very quickly in this league. And Arsenal have to be ready for the battle. But, 2 points out of 9, losing to a side today that ain't beat us in about 6 attempts. It should bloody sting.
Can I tell you something? People think I would rather have lost to Wolves and beaten Man. If I had to lose one game, I would rather have lost to Wolves than Manchester United.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand them more than Tottenham. I'm sorry.
No, you'd have said that.
And the idea of a bravado United. And once again, what do we do? This is why I keep saying the same thing. I feel like I'm one of my Greek aunties saying the same thing to me in Greek right now. Θα σου πω το ίδιο πράγμα, μωρό μου, γιατί δεν καταλαβαίνεις. It's the same thing over and over and over again.
Is Bill Murray in the chat? The Groundhog Day. This is what it's got. That's what. Honestly, Sophie, I swear to God.
You, Manchester United earned their victory. Arsenal did not earn anything, and you've got to go out and grab it and win this title.
Mm-hmm.
What don't you understand about the moment that you're in? And we give people the ammo. And it will never end until we win the Premier League. It won't. And once again, tomorrow you're going to wake up to the headlines, stay off social media tonight, the bottle jobs, the this, the that. Stop talking, stop doing hype videos. What was the hype video about this morning? It's so annoying. We're so, honestly.
I don't get it. I don't. I mean, I saw when we got it back to 2-2. I see Mikel panning to his fans. I'm thinking, mate,
They were all doing the lift to the fans. Saka was
yeah,
doing it as well.
if you don't think the fans are on side with you, are on side with you, you must be crackers. That's what I'd say to that. But you're right. The hype video stuff, and I was like, for goodness sake, man, we know United's a big game for going through bloody history. What, you need to tell the fans to get up for that game?
It's
on,
so
man.
crass. You know, I was having a go at Jason and stuff because he kept saying we're cringe FC. But in these moments, sometimes it's like we are. Stop talking. Just win. Just win. And sometimes football is a very simple game, Albert.
Yeah. Sorry to go. Big up to the chat, by the way. If I think they've been saying Mikel's obviously had his say out for the game. I've recorded it, so I'm sure we'll all catch up with it.
Do we have any quotes? If someone can give me
please, people, please.
Some quotes in the live chat. 500 of you, please hit the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Fletcher says, good point, Sophie. Man United are proper rivals. Tottenham's entire existence is based on being geographically close to Arsenal. Exactly. Like, it stings. This is the first time I felt really depressed this season. I felt like I've handled the non-performances because we've been grabbing points. We're top of the league. I don't care how we win it. You know, I've been just like grinding and grafting along with the team and with the manager. And today I just can't do it. There's no sugarcoating that performance and that result in any way, shape or form. Michael Carrick has been there 2 seconds. 2 seconds he's been there. And he got the better of Mikel.
You get that goal back and you see that there's panic instilled into them. But then we retreat. We go, no, we'll suck that panic out of you and just put it into ourselves. I mean, it is a wonder goal. But at the same point, if you give someone that much space to do it, it's going to happen, isn't it? I'm like, where's your head? Where is your head? Because you could have gone from there. All of us in the group chat are like, brilliant. Right, now go get the win. They're on the ropes now. They're panicking. Go for it. And I saw Arteta saying calm, as in for the players to calm down after they get the goal. But I'm like, again, you just retreated into yourselves completely. And like you said, Sophie, last week we sat here and we were like, well, they're buoyant, aren't they? But, hopefully we put them back in the box. They're going to be even more bloody insufferable now. They're talking about how their goal is to get at least top 4, maybe top 5 if the English teams do well again. They're talking about how they're in the title race.
Well, they had motivation. They had motivation to go above Liverpool, right? Their motivation is to somehow, find themselves having a better season than Liverpool. And here's the stats for today, kids. We had 15 shots. They had 10. We had 4 on target. They had 3. 57% possession. Passes 399 to Arsenal, 355 to United. Accuracy in passing 87 to us, 79 to them. 11 fouls for us, 9 for them. 2 yellows for us. No yellow cards for Manchester United. That's unbelievable. 3 offsides for us, none for them. No offsides. 9 corners for us, 2 for them. And just a very, very disappointing result. And just really curious to digest what Mikel has to say after that game. If you have any quotes before we duck out here, let us know. Sir Antonio says stats don't mean shit in football. The only stats that count are goals. I totally agree with you. I thought it was a handball from Harry Maguire. I don't think there was anything natural about that. What did you guys think about the Maguire? I didn't think the Dorgu one was a handball at all.
No, they were saying that because he was falling to ground. That's probably why
his hand stopped the shot from getting to the goal.
So if you have to get onto Stockley Park, you know,
Yeah,
that's
well.
that's what I was hearing.
I don't think there's a player of the match, is there, guys?
No. Again,
I don't think.
I don't know how many times I have to say it this season, but yeah, Rice was the best of a bad bunch, wasn't he?
No, today I think Rice has been getting away with a couple of. I think we like him so
he stands
much.
out when everyone's so bad.
Well, I think, you know, his whole effing shit every time, which just gave everyone inches and fodder and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't think Zubi or Declan covered themselves in any glory in this match or the previous Premier League game. I think maybe Odegaard is the issue for them, you know, because he's not doing his part. I think that Mikel needs to really show some courage. Keep talking about this word. He's going to have to, you know, really show some courage. I feel a little lost. And this is, I don't want to fall into the category of the fan that's like, well, we're 4 points clear still and we're top of the Champions League. Like Albert said, and James, everything can go pear-shaped really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And 4 points is nothing. And, you know, Villa, these teams, they're fighting their way through, like, I don't know, a paper bag, you feel sometimes, and whether they get through the other side or not. But I tell you something, as an Arsenal fan, what you do not want to happen this season is you cannot have Aston Villa winning the Premier League. For all of the reasons that would send you to Pluto on an unnamed spaceship and you would go missing, yeah. Emery cannot win the Premier League.
Oh, Jesus.
Firstly, that would be the absolute end of Mikel Arteta. You can't have that.
You see that second goal, though? From Aston Villa today?
Oh, the second goal, yeah.
You know, Luca Dean puts in a brilliant cross in the box, bit of chaos. Oh, I'll head that and tap that in. Again,
no, we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to do that.
Just basics, basic football. You know,
are we missing him? Are we missing our chaos?
Definitely.
Calafiori.
It's not a novel concept. No. But hang on, if I put this football into this box where there's people that hit that football into that net, they might score a bloody goal. It's not like you said earlier. And Brian Clough, who I've always loved, football is a simple game played by idiots. And I'm like, today, there were idiots out there. Absolute idiots.
And the subs weren't impactful at all. I don't think they were personally.
No, Marino got his goal, but yeah, you're clutching, aren't you? I mean, other than that, yeah.
And I keep saying
it was really hard to pick anyone of note or value. Saliba and Gabriel felt like they were all over the place.
Yep.
And Capier, I'm just not overly sold on just yet because he doesn't offer the same thing going forward as Calafiori, not even Lewis Skelly. I think Lewis Skelly's better than Capier right now. Not right now, but when Lewis Skelly has been really good, like last season, would I take last season's Lewis Skelly in this team right now over Capier? Yes, I would.
Yeah, he's better on the ball and he's a better creative player. But in terms
they're different, aren't they?
Yeah, in terms of just defensive play, Miles Lewis Skelly this season for me, Sophie, is nowhere near the level.
I never said this season.
I know. But I'm like, yeah, currently he can't go in there until he buckles up, sadly. And it's a shame because I like him. I do like him.
Sorry, you know what's interesting? Big up to people in the chat. There was sort of throwing names in terms of players that we should kind of look at, but not right now. But you know what I'd say to that, because there's some good names there, and I admire some of the players that have been mentioned. But when you speak to other certain Arsenal fans that would actually probably might make a difference to this side, these players are not good enough. They won't get us over the line. So not knocking the players you mentioned in the chat, but
no. And now, of course, it's like we lost because Calafiori. I never said that. I asked if we're missing him. And I never said, like I said, right now I'd take last season's Miles Lewis-Skelly over this game's Nkapie. I never said he did anything wrong. I just,
Sophie,
you
Sophie as well.
know,
Sophie as well. To add in,
just,
sorry, someone put in the chat. I'm going to the game for God's sake, but that Carabao second leg, Jesus Christ, mate.
oh, it's huge.
Now.
It's so much bigger now.
It's big anyway, but you're right. It's escalated even further now. Because the insatiable appetite for us to get over the line and bloody win something. Boy,
this is pressure. This is real pressure now.
Yeah, it's massive now.
This is real pressure.
Just quick as well,
that's our first loss in 31 matches. Okay. Here we're going to go with the records and the data and the analytics. What can I tell you other than the fact that I've supported this team all season. I've stood by poor performances. I've said I've wanted points. I said I don't care how we play. I just want points. I just want to win. I can't stand by that performance today and sit here and defend it and tell you that it was good. And, oh, by the way, we've only lost X amount of games. No, we were shit against Manchester United. We lost at home. Everyone bottled it. And the manager got a few bits wrong against a team that, you know, once again, we had the opportunity to spread the lead at the top of the Premier League, and we did not do it. I can't sit here and defend something like that. I just can't. I've really been defending the team in really bad performances because we've yielded results from that. I can't defend today. And to be honest with you, I'm a little bit confused as a fan. I'm confused in that, what is the identity of this team? Like, where's the mental strength and the consistency? And people will be like, well, we just lost. No, it's the performances against Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, and this one. It's a culmination. And it's the mentality part that I continue to question. We know we can play good football. We know we can beat anyone on any given day. But today, that's not the mark of champions. Well, we've lost to Man United before and gone on to win the league. Fine. But we're fragile in these times and moments, right? You're talking about teams that had proven and won the league before. We haven't done that. So for me today, it's a black mark against the manager, the players. You're supposed to be showing now that you've got the guile for the final act of the season, like that you've turned a corner mentally, and you could go on right now mentally and show strength and show all of the good stuff that you're supposed to be showing. But it's just like some games you just want to win. Today, I wanted to win this game. I didn't want to lose this game. If we go on to win the title, no one's going to give a shit about the fact that we lost 3-2 at home to Manchester United. But it's because there have been too many of these moments that fans kind of start to question all of that.
And I just wish we'd own it more as well. You know, we're top of the league. We're top of the Champions League. Got one foot into a cup final. But we just seem so fearful.
Yeah,
and,
we are.
And I got why. And I will, you know, if you buy your seat, you're entitled to do whatever you want to do for it. But when streams of them are walking out because they know it's done as well, that to me, I hate it. I hate it. It makes it more painful. And I get it. You want to get you know that we're not scoring again, and you want to get home early. But just the visual is just shit, in it. You're just like, for God, everyone knows I've been kicked in the nuts. I don't want a second one, so I'm going to go now.
Do you know what, James? Do you know what? I was surprised how many empty seats there were
when we was losing.
Yeah.
And there was 7 minutes injury time.
It happened against Wolves. When it got to 1-1, streams of them started to go. Streams of them. And I'm like, it's
I didn't think our home fans
painful.
showed up today.
No, we're very quiet because it's tense. Everyone, it's on a knife. It's on a knife edge. Everyone knows it is, and all of us want
You've got to show up. You want the players to show up. You've got to show up too. And I don't want to have a dig at our fans because they're amazing. Our away fans are incredible, right? But that was the fear just set in. I don't think we had nothing today, home fans. You could hear the drum, but it was just. It wasn't good, and we
No.
finally got beaten at home.
Mhm.
And you know, Man United deserved to win. We didn't deserve to win. And
Also,
for
I
me,
will
there's
say,
three takeaways.
sorry, go on.
And then I'll let you. And three takeaways. The first is, where are our worldy game changers? Are you telling me that we know Madueke can do that because he did it in the Champions League against Bruges?
Mhm.
Saka, we've seen do that. Declan Rice has scored worldy free kicks against Real Madrid. Can't do that from open play. Trossard, we've seen score bangers. Like, where was that part, right? The other thing too is, you can't have your midfield and your defense be vulnerable on the same day. That can't be happening. And too often lately, it's been happening that multiple players are having bad games on the same day. Never going to work. And courage, Mikel Arteta, in the subs, in the selection, in everything. Be fearless, don't be fearful. Go on, James. Sorry, Ed.
No, that's okay. No, I was going to say, look, earlier I mentioned about this Norgard stuff that's going on. If he is to be sold and leaving now, on top of Waneri going out on loan to Marseille, you are short two midfielders. So we better. He said at the start, we're always looking and we're active in the market if something comes up that we can't. So if Norgard is being allowed to be let go, I need to see someone of some level coming in.
But he wasn't starting them anyway, James.
I know that, but at the same point, you're leaving yourself short. I mean, unless we're going to do the typical Arsenal thing of going, we'll move Miles Lewis-Skelly into 6,
Yes.
and we'll tick our little left back fetish, which we have to do every window. Can I have a goalkeeper or a left back? Oh, lovely. Yes, please. I'm not scoring goals and my midfield's being overrun. Left back and a goalkeeper, that'll sort it.
If Waneri continues to score goals as well,
Jesus,
like he has done on his debut for Marseille, well done, by the
great
way.
goal, by the
Ethan.
way.
Great for you.
Typical.
So happy for you. Again, the question, those guys have been allowed to go. Listen, sometimes as well, it's not, people think, oh, it's for the development of the player. Of course it is. But Norgard being let go and Waneri being let go is Mikel saying, I don't want them. I don't need them. This is how I'm going to win the title or the Champions League. They haven't been playing. Waneri hasn't even been making it into the squad, the matchday squad. Norgard showed like he deputized at the back and did a great job. I think Norgard is a useful player, like that could have come on today. You know, Mikel Merino, though, is going to be the one that he's going to grind. As much as he's been given a deep squad, and someone said it, and I said he's been using it quite well. But now, as we're talking this through, I understand what you're saying. He's been utilizing the depth, but he's continually pushing the same players over and over, week in, week out. That's, you know, so he's saying, like, I don't need them.
No, he doesn't, because he's not used them. They've been surplus to requirements. And when you're surplus to requirements, you move on. I'll be interested to see what Patrick Vieira said when I go and watch that back in the studio. It'd be interesting.
I would keep Norgard. I would play him on Wednesday. I would play him in the FA Cup. I think that a player like Norgard becomes helpful. He's versatile as well. Yeah, I mean, this has been a very disappointing game. Marks for the gaffer today. No, don't give him marks, but
no.
I just think it wasn't one of his best today.
No.
And I think it's interesting what you guys were saying about making the 4 subs at the same time. That's something that the squad, the team isn't really used to. Like, when you stop and think about what this conversation might look like tomorrow, I think there'll be more things added to the list that we did wrong. You know? And today there was no player who played in the shadows and brought the light, unfortunately.
No, zero. None of them.
But Manchester United made Casemiro and all these guys just look. I mean, Kobe Mainu, dude has hardly played this season. What is that? How do you let that happen? As a man, How'd you let that happen?
Arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Just sheer arrogance in my idea and my plan is the right way. So F anything that you want to tell me or anyone else wants to tell me. If that's what it is. But what I will say, to try and end it on a slightly positive note,
Oh Jesus!
is this season for us, when we've lost, unlike before, we haven't lost in clusters afterwards. So if we can channel how angry and everything and visceral we are and go and do, like I said, swap that Wednesday, win that and go all the way through that Champions League without losing in that first phase and what have you, and then get into Leeds and just buckle up your ideas. And, you know, I don't think we'll put Leeds to the sword. I think it'll be quite a close game,
It's tough.
even though that's a week away. But still, get that done and put this, you know, way behind you.
I think we're playing Leeds at a good time, though, James, because they've been on this fantasy run a little bit, and that can't continue for a team like that.
Yeah, but, you know, when it's a visceral sort of, you know, when it's a nasty, horrible kind of day and atmosphere, which it's going to be at Leeds. Leeds is never kind. I'm like,
it's going to be tough, man.
Just get in there, get your mind switched. You know, like I said, have a rest in midweek, the majority of you, but get your head screwed on. You know, this is it. Who wants to? Do you want to win the league? Do you want to be a champion? Do you always want to be a bridesmaid?
But that's the thing I said earlier, James. Like this nucleus of players have been playing together for a while now. Like there's no excuses. We can't just hang that around, you know, Gyökeres's neck because we signed him. Like this is a culmination of some of the players that have been playing for a number of years. I think the thing that worried me today, like even with the subs that came on, Sophie and James, we look really clueless, man. Trying to get behind them. You're throwing 4 subs and you're not playing well anyway, and then you're trying to get a goal, but most of your goals in recent weeks have been own goals. You know, it looked really bad today, actually. Really, really bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great. All right, well, I'm done talking about this game. I'm pretty much sure it's going to stay with this. Better not be a mark for how my Broncos are going to do. I've got to go watch my Broncos. Has that game started, by the way? Not yet. Okay.
Give yourself some time.
Starts in 20 minutes. Okay, good. This better not be like, you know. Anyway, I find moments like this, you don't want to lose your marbles, but you also want to be totally candid and honest. And I think we have been. I just would stay off social media for the rest of the day. Because this is the part where I say, don't get involved. Don't let it get to you. Don't. And the problem is we let them do it.
Yeah.
We let them do it. We just can't. I mean, we give them the ammo. We give them the material. We give them the tools. And this Arsenal team needs to rectify it. And James, you said, I think it was you, James, or who said we haven't lost like back to back. As if we lose, we bounce back. Like we don't go on a bad run, right? So we'll see. We've got some games coming up that are certainly winnable. I went through the schedule earlier. You want to be champions, just start winning games and start being mentally strong. I don't want to see anyone on social media come out tonight as well. Do not the result we wanted. We'll come back stronger. Shut up. Honestly, I just can't stand it. I don't care. You know, just affect the game, win the game. I don't care what you do in your, like, you know, go out, have a good meal with your family, do all that stuff, but don't come out apologizing.
If I want waffle, I'll have some Captain Birdseye, Sophie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not good. I know we lost our quarterback. You know. Well, look, here's the scoop, right? Is that I think that I'm going to see now what kind of manager Mikel is in this moment, in this time. And we'll leave it here. This is an opportunity for Mikel to show that he really does have huge, gigantic balls. Because Odegaard isn't working right now. And, you know, James said it. Is Zubi going to get benched? Like, you know, Eza got benched because of his mistake. And we all know that, come on, when you make mistakes, Mikel doesn't like it, but it depends which player you are on that. But this is an opportunity for him to really show ruthlessness. For the next game, not the one in the Champions League, the next league game, I'd start Saka on the left, Victor in the middle, and Madueke on the right, and I'd play Eza as the 10. You want to win the title, bubble and squeak it. Throw some shit in there. They're not leftovers, you know, but they could be the right type of snack for this team. And I think he needs to reinvent the wheel a little bit, get them a bit engaged, get them excited, get them... Come on, man. You're not children. You're up for a fight. You're challenging for the league and the Champions League. Get in the game. But the manager has to stimulate this moment. He's got to do something.
Well,
so if you're right. Sorry, go on, James. Go on.
Well, at the start of the year, obviously, when we first signed Vicky Gyökeres, and Havertz got the injury, we had no Jesus and what have you. I saw Arsenal just playing down the spine of a team, just directly. You know, I'm going to just thump a ball right through the centre of your team, or we're going to have a player come through and just run through the middle of your team. And now it's gone back to every single time. And it was so bad today. It's going to go to Saka. It's going to go to Saka. Everything, right-hand side, right-hand side, right-hand side. Yeah, and unless he absolutely dances and unleashes something, which he hasn't done for 13 games, by the way, I keep mentioning it, nothing's happening. I'm like, go back to using every inch and space of that pitch that you can. Because there was opportunities there today. You mentioned it with the Saliba one. And then he cut it back. He didn't believe in himself. He didn't have the confidence in himself. It's so formulaic in everything that we do. And like you said, the formula's not working. So change the ingredients.
Amir Ameli. We have never won anything with Jesus. We were 7 points clear with Gyökeres, but Mikel says, fuck it, let's put Jesus in. I said my piece about Gyökeres.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why I was defending it. There's a method to the madness. It was working. And against Manchester United, you take him out. That was your mistake today, Mikel.
Madness.
I just didn't get that.
No.
You rest him the next couple games or whatever. No, don't. It wasn't the change that needed to happen. In the Champions League, I totally understand starting Jesus and stuff. But there's been a productivity that maybe hasn't been easy on the eye. And some of the stat kings out there can't see it because they're just too obsessed with their XG. But don't tinker too much. Careful. You want changes. You want to rest players, right? But it's when and the how and the moments. Yeah. This is where he's got to be strong, Albert, and make the right decisions.
Yeah. I get people saying in the chat about the mentality thing. I mentioned it earlier. We've all mentioned it because I go back to, I always say this, man. When we played Newcastle, was it last season, the semi-final of Carabao? And that second leg, I was so angry the way we performed in such a big game of football. It's a chance to get to Wembley. And in the big games, yes, our record against, the big six has got a little bit better, but I'm talking about when you get games like this when it comes to crunch time. And arguably, you could even say crunch time hasn't even arrived yet, or squeaky bum time, as someone once called it. And you put in this type of performance.
Yeah,
that's a big worry, man.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. Right. Follow these kids, everyone, at LL Cool James 91, at Albert JTV as well. Make sure you hit the video section and check out Albert's piece on our Arsenal women. Really great win. Go have your voice heard. Beth Mead putting on a performance for the record books right there. She was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
and you're Foxy too. So go check that out. And then James, how's things going? You got anything coming up with the Purely Arsenal podcast?
Unfortunately, I had a bereavement, so I have a 4.5-hour train journey tomorrow.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's
Oh,
all right.
no.
It's all
Sorry,
good. It's
Jane.
all good. But yeah, I wouldn't blame the lads if they don't wake up tomorrow morning to do it. But if they do, please go check it out because yeah, the boys are fantastic. We love the old purely lads. We really do.
Yeah. Well, it's been one of those, kids. It's been one of those. We put it in the rearview mirror and we move on. And you know, let's hope that the team bounces back. Let's hope that they find their balls in their bags when they go put their laundry in tonight. And you know, we will march on. We'll be back for Monday Madness tomorrow with a special guest. And look out on the community page for the rest of the schedule for the week. Some good stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. Give your hugs to your loved ones. Don't forget to tell them that you love them. And no matter what, Arsenal, we love you. Just don't tick us off too much, eh? At Squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.